back to the 90s!
Nick, 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 Nick.
Oh, here it goes.
I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all today. I'm a dude, he's a dude, she's a dude, we're all today.
Greetings and salutations and welcome to Nostalgia. Now, I am not a big horror fan. You will not catch me watching Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I am what is known as a big fanny. Shit, the scariest I usually go is something like Hocus Pocus or Monster Squad. But there is an exception. There is one horror series I fell in love with when I was 12-year-old and I still go back and watch on repeat. And that is the Scream films. I have spoken at length about my love of the Scream films in our Unpopular Opinions video. So after you've watched this, go watch that if you haven't seen it. But today I'm going to try something I haven't done before. I'm going to be ranking every film in the series so far, 1 to 6. And if we're going to talk about how much we love these films, of course, there's going to be spoilers. I don't know why I have to do this announcement. Why would you come watch a ranking video if you haven't seen the films? Anyway, we're going to be talking about the killers, who gets killed and what, so last chance for a spoiler warning. I think it's pointless. So, let's put on our ghost face mask, let's head down to Woodsboro. Don't forget about Randy's rules while we're here. Let's do it, all 6 Scream films ranked. Let's go. And starting us off in last. Actually, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say last, I'm not going to say worst. The 6th ranked Scream film is the 6th Scream film, the latest entry. And like I said, I don't want to say it's the worst Scream film because that would say it was bad. It's not a bad film. So why is it 6th? It's the least screamy of all the Scream films. That will make sense in a second. I'll make it make sense. So it's not very screamy because it's not set in Woodsboro. There's no Sydney. There's no Dewey. And the best thing about the Scream films is the killer reveal, right? And this one is just kind of meh. Yeah, Detective Bailey and his son and his daughter are the family of Richard, who was the killer in the last one. And it has nothing really to do with the previous films or Woodsboro. And it's set in New York, the most overpopulated city in the world, where every single person has a camera in their pocket. And nobody sees this guy going around killing people. It just doesn't feel like a Scream film. That's all I'm saying. I don't hate Scream 6. There are some amazing bits in it, like that whole scene on the subway, and that final scene is incredible. That shrine with all the previous memorabilia from the killers from the previous films, amazing. You see Gale get proper fucked up in this one. I mean, you think Gale's finally gonna die? God, nothing fucking kills Gale, does it? And can we just talk about Sam? Sam is amazing in this one. It could go either way with Sam, with her struggling, being Billy's daughter. Really sets up the films going forward, or at least it did. You know, with Melissa now not attached to the films. Shit, that sucks. Now this is one I struggled with. Most people have Scream 3 at the bottom of their list, but I bloody love it. Much lighter in tone and setting to most Scream films, but this is Scream Goes Hollywood. Now, I'm not going to kid myself into saying that this is a great film, but it definitely is the funnest of all the Scream films. And being set in Hollywood, it makes sense for there to be so many stars that join the OG cast. You've got the likes of Patrick Dempsey, Parker Posey, Jenny McCarthy, Patrick Warburton, Lance Hendrickson. Shit, even Princess Leia herself shows up in this one. And the killer reveal is pretty cool in this one. Sidney has a secret brother, and he set Billy and Stu off on the path that started the whole series. And fair play to Roman. He is the only Ghostface who did it all on his own. Go Roman! Oh, and I forgot to mention, my homeboy, my main man, Cotton Weary, gets offed in like the first 5 minutes of this one. Screen fee, much better than you remember. And we are finally back in Woodsboro for Scream. Not first Scream, the new Scream. It's called Scream 5, okay? Now, I, like most Scream fans, was skeptical. When I heard it was being rebooted with Wednesday Addams as the new Sidney, I was really skeptical. But I could not have been more wrong. Jenna Ortega as Tara and Melissa Barrera as Sam are fantastic new leads. Hell, I thought Tara died in the first friggin' scene. I love it when Scream does this thing where they cast amazing actors like Drew Barrymore and then they just kill them off. I thought they'd done the same with Jenna Ortega. It was the best switcheroo in franchise history. There is so much to love about Scream 5. It is one of my all-time favourites. Blending that amazing new cast with the OG Woodsboro faithful. And speaking of the old cast, Mr. Invincible himself, Dewey, finally dies after basically getting fucked up for every Scream film in history. And that amazing reveal that Sam is Billy Loomis's kid is fantastic. I love Sam as a character. You never know where you stand with her. Is she going to be a ghost face? Is she not? Brilliant. So if I love it so much, why is it only number 4? Well, this could have easily been top 3 if not for the ghost face killers. There is no way to get around it. The killers in Scream 5, they just suck. They really, really suck. Richie is Sam's boyfriend and Amber is Tara's best friend. And they did it because the last couple of Stab films were shite. I mean, come on, you nearly had the perfect Scream film. This was the big reboot, guys, and this is the killers. Boo! There was an 11-year gap between Scream 3 and Scream 4. And to be fair, it was needed. And it might sound controversial, but I think it's what's needed again, especially with Jenna Ortega and Melissa Barrera stepping away. We need to miss it again. Just like with Scream 4, we need to get back to Woodsboro and we need to remember how great these films can be. Scream 4 delivers in every way a Scream film should. From the moment the film starts, you have 3 opening scenes, and you have massive stars like Anna Paquin and Kristen Bell. It completely throws you off. You don't know where you stand from the moment this film starts. You have the original cast returning, Dewey, Sidney, Gale, and then you have this amazing young cast, the best cast you could have put at the time. Emma Roberts, Hayden Panettiere, Rory Culkin. One of the best things about Scream films is that they're half horror films, half murder mysteries whodunits. What keeps us coming back to the Scream films time and time again is that moment. Who is going to be the ghost face killer this time? And how will they tie to the previous films? And Scream 4? Scream 4 has the best ghost face reveal in franchise history. The whole time you are watching Scream 4, you are thinking, great, we have a new Sidney in Jill. Emma Roberts is a big star, young enough, and she can carry the franchise forward into the future. And then shit on me, she's the fucking killer. Literally, you could have picked my jaw off the floor. Without a doubt, the best killer reveal in franchise history. Take note, Scream 5 and 6. This is how it's done.
There are certain rules that one must abide by in order to successfully survive a horror movie.
You all thought the original Scream was going to be number 1, didn't you? Admit it, you thought it was going to be number 1. And I get it, the first Scream film is iconic. It set off what is, in my opinion, the best horror franchise in history. And a whole new generation fell in love with Wes Craven and horror films in general, because I was one of them. I still remember where I was the first time I saw Scream. I was 12 years old, sleeping over at a friend's. We borrowed his brother's VHS pirate copy in 1997, and from that moment, I was hooked on Scream films. I was the perfect age to be pulled in to love this series. And everything that we have come to know and love about Scream films, you can see in the original Scream. The blueprint is there from the first film. That opening with Drew Barrymore where she gets killed off is now a staple of every Scream film. Our leading girl, Sidney, with a dark family history that can be delivered on film after film after film. An amazing cast and characters to support Sidney. You've got Gale, Dewey, Tatum, Randy. and no one ever feels safe from getting sliced up in these films. And of course, the Ghostface reveal. Billy and Stu. People love these guys. These are the bad guys. They murdered numerous kids. But I'll be damned if they aren't the most iconic Ghostfaces in the franchise. I freaking love the original Scream film. It's why I fell in love with the series to start with. But there is another Scream film that I think sits top of the mountain in my humble opinion. Sometimes I feel like I'm on an island over here by myself. You talk to anybody about the Scream films, they mention Billy Loomis and Stu or the Jill Roberts reveal or how great the new films are. Nobody ever mentions Scream 2. And for me, it's the greatest of all of them. Because it's the first one you can point to and go, that is what a Scream film is. You can see it from that opening scene in the cinema. Omar Epps gets stabbed in the ear, and then the crowd cheers as Jada Pinkett Smith slowly dies on stage. I mean, there's a Will Smith and Jada joke in there, but I ain't touching it. Scream 2 is the screamiest of all the Scream films in the Scream franchise. Scream 1 broke ground. It was amazing. But Scream 2, you were looking at everyone. You were like Poirot trying to figure out who the killer could be. You had the pretty boy boyfriend like in the last one. What about Gail's cameraman? Could it be a member of the OG cast? Could it be Dewey or Gail? And of course, what about creepy as balls Cotton Weary? That's my boy, played by Liev Schreiber. I don't care what anybody says. I don't know what it is about Cotton Weary. He's just so unhinged. He's like an innocent toddler and a killer at the same time. I love this guy. Everything you love about Scream films could be found in Scream 2. Surprise kills like Randy gets off in this one. The killer reveal, linking it back to Woodsboro, this time it's Billy's mum. There is major gore, bloody kills, people being shot, stabbed, shit, a guy gets impaled on a girder. A kick-ass soundtrack. Yo, Scream 2 has some friggin' bangers. It is constantly on my Spotify playlist. What about big name stars brought in as red herrings only to be killed off? In this one, Buffy the fucking Vampire Slayer gets yeeted off a balcony. And Scream 2, of course, is the first one that brings the stab films into the lore. They go on to be massive and reasons why people are actually killers in the franchise. And one of the main reasons I love Scream 2 above all the other Screams is our girl, Sidney Prescott. Now, in the first film, she was this innocent virgin whose boyfriend was the killer, so she was forced to defend herself. But in Scream 2, we established Neve Campbell's Sidney as one of the greatest kick-ass female characters ever put on films. She's up there with Ripley from Aliens or Sarah Connor from Terminator. She proper fucks people up in Scream 2. I know I'm probably by myself thinking that Scream 2 is the greatest Scream film, but that is what the comment section is for, guys. Get in the comments, let us know your favourites. Do you like Richie more than I do? I can't stand Richie. And are you excited for Scream 7? We're getting Scream 7 next summer. There's no more Tara, no more Sam. Are they going to keep the rest of the core four? Are they going to go back to Sydney? Will they bring back an OG character as Ghostface? Could Stu make a return? I cannot friggin' wait to go back to Woodsboro. As ever, guys, I really appreciate you taking the time to come to our channel. Remember, subscribe, like, share, all that shite. But most importantly, get in the comments. Let's keep this community built. Let's be nice to each other. Let's love each other. I'll speak to you guys on the next one. G out.
Have an aneurysm, why don't you?